everyone. So nice to see you tonight. Gina's here. She's ready to take your questions and doing her thing. Thank you, Gina, for being here. And we're going to jump in to a night with Carrie Fisher. So I'm going to give you a little synopsis, and then I'm going to show you a picture of what she looks like in my mind's eye. I'll always find like the closest picture I can find if there is one. I'm just going to start doing that because I think it's so interesting to see how they present themselves. And I think it's so fun to think of them as what they are now rather than what we remember them as, or, you know, I just think it's really interesting. So hopefully you find that interesting too. Okay, then I'm going to tell you what happened right before I went on. So, okay. So Carrie Frances Fisher was an American actress, author, screenwriter, and mental health advocate. She's best known for her portrayal as Princess Leia in Star Wars trilogy. She also did television. She also was a screenwriter. She was also what I learned about her was she's a script tightener. So she was a bunch of scripts that she worked on and to like make them tighter and better. One of them was The Wedding Singer, Drew Barrymore. She famously came out with having bipolar disorder. She also had a period of time where she was a drug addict, and she got sober, and she was famously married to Paul Simon for a whole year. And then she had a son with a partner that she didn't marry, but they were together. And she has a couple of half siblings, a sibling, and her parents are famous. Her parents were Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher. And I want to show you what she looks like in my mind's eye when she popped in. This is the closest picture I could find, and it's pretty much almost exactly as she looks, except that she's standing up, and she's kind of almost like she's just in a room. And minus the cigarette too, because in this picture she's holding a cigarette, but that's almost exactly what she looks like. She even has a white blouse on and what I thought was jeans, but I thought, oh, it could be black pants. But when I saw this picture, I'm like, no, this is what she looks like. So that is what she looks like. And before I got on, I've gotten to the habit in using my dowsing rods and asking where people are standing, just to see if it correlates with where I'm like, where I feel like the messages are coming from. And I asked if there was more people in the room besides her, and of course her guides and her team. And they said yes. And I said, are her parents here? And they said yes. So her parents are here. But the weird thing is that she said, and Shelly. And I was like, Shelly. And I looked up her because I thought, is there a family member? Is there, who is that? It's Shelley Duvall. It was one of her best friends. So Shelley Duvall is here. And it's funny because I can't see them. And so I feel like it's because she's center stage. Like she's the one that's going to be talking. They're just here for support, but they're letting us know. The weirdest thing though, is that I said, is there anybody else here? Because I said, I feel like there's an older, like a female that would have been like a movie star around that time. Like she died at an older age and she was kind of that. It's Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor is here too. But they're all, like I said, it would make me way too nervous if I saw all of these people standing here. I see her and I don't see anything else. But that's who's here, because I could feel the energy. I knew there was other people here, and I knew they must be connected somehow. And That's what I'm getting. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. I'm going to plug in my computer so it doesn't start glitching. But I thought too, my computer for the most part has stopped glitching. But tonight, on nights like this, it still doesn't. I just wonder if it's because there's just so much energy in the room. I'm like, it just may be a thing. I'm sorry if it is, but I'll just keep talking. And you guys know that the love triangle, right? That's why I thought that's so fascinating, but we don't know the connection they have and their story as to like how they're connected in the spirit realm, but they are clearly very connected in the spirit realm. Another thing that I found out, sorry guys, I'm just going to move this. It's really hot today, so I'm just trying to stay as cool as I can. And it's another interesting thing. When I channel like this, I get really warm. I get really like my face gets really warm. And I just heard another person who's like a channel. They like a real channeler say that they get hot whenever they channel. So I'm like, oh, that's a good sign then. I always thought it was just me being weird or whatever, but I guess no, I guess this is part of the process or something. And now I'm even like more like heated. So she said she is an open book. She said, I'm an open book. So we can ask her whatever. And I said, if there's anything you don't want to answer, it's okay. It's fine. Just be quiet. Just don't say anything and I'll know to move on. So thanks everybody for being here. And thank you for letting me do that little intro. And Craig says, Carrie, I also have a very close personal friend whom I love. I treat her with respect, dignity, warmth, trust, and love, because that's how she treats me. She's had mental issues also, schizophrenia. Is this enough? She also heals me in return. That is beautiful, Craig. So I'm going to see if she wants to comment on that. She's saying she I feel like she's saying, Craig, she no longer has schizophrenia. Not her, your friend. She's like, she no longer has schizophrenia. And she's saying love, respect, warmth, kindness is always enough. So, yeah. Did your early childhood pain with the absence of your father contribute to your sense of humor and fabulous wit? Love you, Gary. How cute. She said it created interesting dynamics for sure. She's saying it more so helped me to develop my imagination. It helped me to have a really healthy imagination. She's saying especially as a younger person, because there was a lot she wasn't clued into or she didn't understand. And she also felt she was kept in the dark a lot. So she's saying you might call it intuition as well, but it was kind of her way of trying to figure things out and trying to understand things. So she would create stories and scenarios and, trying to figure out the adults and the people around her, the people in her life. We always had humor and laughter in the home. It was, she's saying it was gallows humor a lot of the time, very cutting jokes, sarcasm, funny things, but it was our way of delicately telling each other the truth. Yeah, okay. I hope that answers that. Ms. Fisher, you had a tight bond with your mother. Did you expect your mom to be there so rapidly? She said, I couldn't be outdone. She had to outdo me. Oh, gosh. My mother, the star, she said. She said we had a pretty dramatic family, a lot of drama all throughout. So she said it was a planned dramatic exit. Her so she's saying, yes, I expected her. We knew this was a plan. This was a plan. And our I guess destinies, I guess that's the best word, were so tied to each other, particularly mine to hers, that, and she's saying it to each other. She's saying to each other that it almost, when one leaves, it's like the other story's over as well. Their storylines or their destinies or their stories. I guess that was the only way to, I can't really, I know she's saying something else, but I can't. She's kind of a, she has a much bigger vocabulary than I do. And so I'm going to do my best to, because she said a word earlier and I'm like, I've got to look that up. But they were so tightly, their storylines were so tightly fit together that it would almost not make sense for the other person to be around with the other person. Okay, hello, Carrie. Because you and your mother passed so close together, were you able to greet her when she passed? Thank you. She said, I was there tapping my foot and said, what are you doing here? She said for a moment she couldn't be more confused, and then we both just started to laugh. Yeah, so there's your answer. It was so funny. Oh my gosh. Did Carrie enjoy her time filming the Jay and Silent Bob movie? Jay and Silent Bob movie. She's saying, yes, I loved it. And she's saying, though, that she always felt, even when she was not well, she always felt very safe on movie sets. I'm asking her to explain that. Everything was so planned and so pat, and there were no surprises. It was all very it was a controllable environment. And because of her because of her childhood, outside of that environment, she was drawn to very chaotic situations. So in that environment, she always felt very safe and everything felt very controlled, and she felt very like she could exhale, like she could breathe. So yes. But she's saying extending that to a lot of her movie experiences. Yeah. Hi, Karen. I'm sorry. I'm like, I need new glasses, and so I'm deciding if I can see better with them on or off when I read these. Hi, Carrie. What are you working on the other side? Okay. Sorry about Luca. I had to keep the door open tonight. It's just too hot. She's saying, okay. She's saying she still does a lot of writing and a lot of reading. She said these are not earthly activities. They originate here. And so she's saying I still do a lot of writing and reading. I'm still doing a lot of reflection and healing from this lifetime, along with the other members of my family. We're sort of going through, she's like going through the material and deciding what we got out of the experience, what we learned, how we grew, what we could have done differently. It can be a very long and complicated process, but it's really wonderful for the reasons we come here, which is a growth in knowledge, understanding. So I continue to do that. I hope to. She's saying I often visit my favorite people and people that are working on projects I find very interesting and intriguing, and try to help where I can. But most of my time is spent still healing and kind of going through the story of our family and all of the intricacies of that. That's Carrie Fisher. If that's the reason for the computer glitches. Oh, ask her if it's the reason for the computer glitches. Okay. And she's saying it definitely can be. And not always. She's like, you can't always say that, but it can be. Yeah. And thank you, Lily Rose, for that obvious suggestion. Why didn't I just do that? Kim, can the other people say a few words to us? Okay. She said mother's dying too. So okay, I'm listening. I want to say hello to everyone. I want to say thank you for loving my daughter. I love her too. as difficult, as painful, and as surprising this lifetime was, I had a ball. I tried to look on the bright side. To everyone's, it's, I don't know what the word is. She's saying like it annoyed people. She was so Pollyanna-ish sometimes. To everyone else's, I don't know. But it was her way of trying to leap to the next thing, like get past this thing. It was her way of coping and trying to move to the next thing. Don't think about that. Think about this. Don't go there. Think over here. It was her way of moving on. She's very proud of her movies and the impression and the energy impression that those movies leave on the earth. It's very, very positive, and she is very proud of the movies that she made. And she's saying it was as magical a time as it looks like it was. It really was. Yeah, and she's saying she shared the love of the she shared the love of being on the studio lot and in the set and things like that, just like her daughter. That, and she's saying I think she may have gotten some of that from me because I was so happy there too. She's saying real life was a trick, but she always felt very happy and at home in movies. Okay. So funny. Mother's dying too. Okay. How and where did Carrie find strength and creativity? How and where? I did have my faith. I did have my, so I feel like she's showing like a Jewish star. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think that's what she's showing me. So there were elements of my my grounding in that. She's saying particularly in recovery and things like that. So strength, I think she's saying that she's also saying her friends and family were very supportive. They were very supportive of her. And she said, I could be a piece of work. They were really supportive of me. My creativity, so she's saying acting was like sort of like second nature in a way. It wasn't really it wasn't like hard or a stretch, or she just kind of did it. And she's like, I don't know that I was that great at it, but what I did do, it was kind of like I just did it. It was second nature. I just did it. Writing and being more kind of behind the scenes, really, that was where her creativity was really strong. And she's saying that is being able to do, she's kind of like she's pointing at this, like kind of like channeling. It was like a flow state. So that creativity, she is giving credit for some of it being like coming in and just being there. But she's saying it was a way of working things out. Like she's bringing us back to what she said earlier about being a kid and trying to work things out and making up scenarios to try to understand things and make things make sense. And she's like, as an adult, I did that through like scripts and screenwriting. A lot of it was me and my story and things I didn't understand. I was trying to figure out. And she's saying like relationships and dynamics with other people, and it was all an attempt to work things out and explain things to myself. She's like being like the outsider looking in. Yeah, so yeah, that's what she's saying. Can Carrie tell us if she's lived other lives and the others who came with her this evening? And if so, can she tell us about them? Sure. Okay. She's saying this group, we've had many lives together. This group that she's standing with. She's saying they are usually filled with a lot of like high drama, and it's fun. And she's saying that if our feeling is if we're gonna go, let's do something big. If we're gonna go, we're gonna do this, let's do something big. She's saying that they aren't the easiest lifetimes, but they're very very interesting and filled with a lot of drama. Sometimes we've taken taken chances that haven't worked out so well, but it hasn't really deterred us from kind of having these lifetimes that really we learn a lot, and we learn a lot from each other, teaching each other things. Okay. But she's saying high highs and low lows. That's the way they kind of roll. And you think about that, right? I mean, this is me just being me, but you think about that. Those people that are with her, all of them had lives like that. High highs and low lows. So get that. It's funny. I feel like she's conferring with them, like almost like, what lifetime should I take? It's like anything is fine. Napoleonic Wars. Napoleonic Wars? Is that what you're saying? I feel like there was something with that, at that time, something to do with being like in battle and that kind of thing. All men, she said, we were all men. In different ranks and in different sides in battle. But our stories were connected. I want to say Austria. Anyway, I don't know much about this stuff. So, I know we watched Napoleon. I know that much, but other than that, this was in that movie. I'm not going to know. So that's what she's saying. This is fascinating. Did Carrie expect the afterlife to be what she found? It felt unbelievably natural, with how fast I was gone. It felt like coming home. When you have gone through a lot of lifetimes, you remember faster and faster and faster. And if you've had a particularly hard or traumatic lifetime or difficult lifetime, you're embraced very quickly. You're embraced very quickly, and sort of, it's almost like you're embraced and brought home very quickly. She's saying to let the healing begin. But she said it was a beautiful homecoming, and she wasn't confused. She wasn't. She knew that her life was done, and she was like, she said, "Oh, that was wild." She was ready. She said, "This one, I was ready to go. I was exhausted, absolutely exhausted." And she's saying, up to this point, I wasn't sleeping well. I didn't feel well. I wasn't sleeping well. I knew something was off. I knew something wasn't right. And it's almost like there was like an episode, or I'm touching my chest because she's touching her chest. Like there was an episode before she passed, or right before she passed. And at that point, I thought, this is it. This is it. And then it wasn't it, and I didn't understand. And then when it happened, I said, "Oh, that was wild." So that's what she's saying. I'm going to have to look these things up when I get off, so hopefully they're making sense. Hi, Carrie. Does your mother still collect movie props on the other side? I have her chariot from Ben-Hur in my living room. Oh my gosh. Weird and the Wonderful. That's amazing. She just said you can't take it with you, but she's saying there are she's made, and she's saying this may not make sense to you. This may not make sense, but she has replicas of all kinds of stuff, and she's saying even sets. She's even showing like an old reel-to-reel kind of camera, and it's like equipment and stuff. So she says, so in her own way, she has not stopped collecting. It's just different. It's just different. And she's saying it, just trust me. She's still collecting, but it's different. You can't, not exactly the same way, but she's still collecting. Yes. That is crazy. Please tell her Leah was my childhood hero. Oh, Avenging Goddess. I would say the same thing. She's saying, right. She said, I'm so glad. She said, I think she was a wonderful role model for that time for young girls. She was really, she said later on, particularly she's talking about the first movie, the first one. She's like, later on, I think some things like weren't quite the way I would have done them, or the way but I always liked that. I've always liked that character, and always felt it was good for girls to see a woman in a role like that. She said running and shooting in a dress. So yeah. Okay. would you, Carrie, and your mom consider another life here together? Perhaps when creative ventures flow more easily, and perhaps with different relationships with each other? Ventures, like, yeah. It'll be a little while before they'll return, but yes, they'll work with the same groups. You build, she's saying, like, you build momentum. It's like an energetic momentum. You've each been with each other. You know the roles that are best to play to help learn and help teach. You really get I guess momentum would be the best word. It's like a flow going with a group, the longer you're with them and work with them. And so they'll definitely be coming back. She said this was actually really positive, that this mother-daughter dynamic was very, very good for them. So could be, she's like, could be, that like they would do this actual scenario kind of like mother-daughter again, because it was actually challenging. So good for growth. Yeah. Do you ever visit Mark Hamill, and does he know it when you do? I do, and I think he does. He's not the type to announce it to everybody, but I feel like he does. He talks to me, and he may not realize I'm there. I'm listening. I hear him every time he does that, but I feel like there have been times that he knows. She's just saying you can't imagine the aura of that guy. She's saying seeing him when she could, with him, she could feel that, like feel what kind of a person he was and feel his energy and that kind of thing. But she said, when you see people's auras, when you can actually see them with your, I guess your like energetic eyes in a way, or perceive them, I guess is a better way to put it. She's like that. He has one of this, like, such a strong and beautiful aura. Just, yeah, she's just adding that in. Why don't we do maybe 2 more questions, Gina, and that would be great. I feel like I'm heating up. Rob, the Star Wars movies were magical and even spiritual with the concept of the Force. Carrie was so sassy and fun in them. What were her favorite times on those movies like? She's saying we really felt like this was something special. And then at times we'd say, is this going to be great? Is it going to be great? We all felt it was something special. And she's saying, she's showing me looking through the camera at like models, like model things. Because I know the movie was made with like a lot of models and stuff, but she's showing me a specific scene of her looking through the camera and seeing the models and like getting chills and getting just like, this is going to be amazing, So I feel like there were just moments when they realized how really, really great this was going to be. And that they're a part of it. She's like, that feeling was just like nothing else that she had ever had happen in her life. And really since, she said that was really magical. It really was magical. I mean, you use the word magical, Rob, but she just said the same thing. It was magical. And she's saying so much of that movie was inspired, so much. And that we get things, the earth gets things, gets information, gets ideas and creative stuff and information through different like vessels, movies, art, writers, scientists, doctors. Like, it comes at exactly the right time, and that movie was no different. It came exactly at the right time. It's what the world needed at that time. So yeah. So I think she's saying, like, with everything, like, there's a synchronicity to it. It's like perfect timing for everything. Sonia Z, wonder if there are forces from the other side helping with the overwhelming evil leaders here, the Darth Vaders here, that are harming so many. Is there a good versus evil fight like Star Wars going on right now? What a great question. She's saying in a way, energy. It's energy. It is a polarity shift. Because she's showing like almost like light and dark, and I think it's just to make it understandable, like good and evil, or light and dark. And she's showing like the light, being like going much higher than the dark. So I feel like there's this shift that's happening. And she's saying this time is so important and so significant. There is so much help here right now. So much help. And it's planned. It's a planned event. So know that you're in good hands. Know that she's saying things can look all kinds of ways, but that you are in good hands. She just said the force is with you. And she's saying this time will be looked back on for millennia. She's like, it's going to be one of those, you're going to be so amazed at how much of an impact this time will have on the future. She said, you are wrapped in love and support. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, everybody. That was amazing. She was amazing. Her energy was just like a best friend. She really has like that kind of girlfriend, like your best girlfriend kind of energy, and very but very like brutally honest. I feel like she was very, very just like, then she said, I'm an open book. So that's what she and that's how it felt. It felt like, yeah, I'm fine. Wow, what a cool chick, what a cool chick. Yeah, she was really cool. I guess that's the word I would use. Cool. She's cool. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Gina. Thank you so much for keeping an eye on the chat. Thank you, everybody. I think we're getting a little longer each time, which was my hope. So we're about almost 45 minutes. So that's great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Gina. I will see you guys on Sunday. I think the next Sunday I'm going to be off because my cousin's coming to town. I'm going to spend the day with him, but I might do a taped episode for that. But I will see you this Sunday. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the great questions. Thank you, Gina, so much for holding space and doing the questions and taking care of the chat. And we will talk to you again. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.